All right, let's talk about something that sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but is absolutely real. We're talking about wood that's transparent. Yep, see-through wood. And it could literally change the way we build our entire world.
So let's just start with a question. Think about the windows in your house. What if they weren't just, fragile panes of glass? What if your window was actually part of the wall, like a structural, load-bearing part of the building? Well, that's exactly the big idea behind transparent wood.
Okay, so why is this such a game changer? To really get it, we've got to look at the material we've been using forever. We have to talk about the flaws in glass.
Let's be honest, for centuries, our windows have been a total thermal disaster. Glass is it's awful at insulation. It's superconductive, which basically means heat just pours out in the winter and bakes your house in the summer. It's a massive energy leak in pretty much every building.
And the problems with glass don't stop there. I mean, it's brittle, right? And making it, the process is super carbon intensive. We're talking furnaces burning at over 1,500 degrees Celsius. So what we really want is something strong, a great insulator, and sustainable. That's the dream.
So where are we going to find this wonder material? Well, the answer is probably not where you'd expect.
It's not some brand new thing cooked up in a lab. Nope. The answer, it comes from our forests. It's wood. A material we've been using for all of human history, just completely re-engineered with some modern science to become this high-tech marvel.
Okay, but wait a second. How in the world do you make wood transparent? I mean, it sounds like something out of an alchemist's lab, right? And honestly, the process is just as cool. It's all about breaking the wood down to its absolute basics. The secret ingredient here, or rather, the thing you have to get rid of, is a molecule called lignin. Think of it like this. Lignin is the glue that holds all the wood fibers together. But it's also the stuff that makes wood brown and opaque because it absorbs light. So, step one to making wood clear, you've got to get that lignin out of there.
So it's basically a two-step recipe. First up is what's called delignification. You use chemicals to strip out all that lignin, which leaves you with this kind of white, ghostly scaffold of cellulose fibers. Now, at this point, it's still not clear. It's opaque because those fibers scatter light all over the place. That's where step two comes in. Scientists then fill that empty scaffold with a clear polymer. The trick is, this polymer has the exact same optical properties as the cellulose, so it stops the light from scattering. And boom, just like that, the wood becomes transparent.
All right, so now we know how to make see-through wood. But was it worth all that effort? What makes it so much better than plain old glass? Oh, this is the good part. Let's talk about its superpowers.
Let's just start with one number, 5. As in 5 times. Transparent wood can insulate up to 5 times better than glass. Just let that sink in. Think about what that means for your heating and cooling bills.
So here's the science behind that 5 times number. It's all about something called thermal conductivity. It's just a fancy way of saying how easily heat moves through something. You want a low number here. That means better insulation. As you can see, glass is up there at 0.96, but transparent wood, it's way, way down around 0.20. That gap between them, it's just massive.
And it's not just about stopping heat from getting in or out. It's also about how the light feels. You know how glass can give you that harsh, direct glare? Well, transparent wood is different. Because it still has the natural structure of the wood fibers, it creates this thing called optical haze. It sounds weird, but it's amazing. It basically diffuses the light, spreading it out into a soft, even glow. You don't get those annoying hot spots or harsh shadows. Okay, what about strength and safety? We've all seen what happens when glass breaks. It explodes into a million dangerous little shards. Transparent wood? It doesn't do that. Because it's this composite of wood fibers and polymer, if it breaks, it just cracks or splinters. It's essentially shatterproof, which is a huge deal for safety.
So let's recap. It's stronger, way safer, and a fantastic insulator. But believe it or not, the story gets even cooler. We're moving beyond just making a better window. We're talking about a truly smart building material.
Yeah, researchers are already baking in extra features. For example, they can add materials that let it act like a solar concentrator to generate power, or they can infuse it with special phase change materials that soak up heat during the day and then release it at night, basically turning your walls into a giant thermal battery.
And let's not forget, since it's made from wood, the building itself becomes a massive vault for storing carbon. How cool is that?
There's this quote from one of the research papers that just nails it. It says, "This material challenges our assumption that clear must mean brittle and conductive." And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? For all of history, we just accepted that if something was see-through, it had to be weak and bad at insulation. Transparent wood just completely turns that idea upside down.
So, what does all this mean for the future? Well, it points to a world where our buildings could be stronger, way more efficient, and so much more sustainable, all thanks to a material that literally grows on trees. It really leaves you with a pretty wild thought, doesn't it? Are our future cities, are they going to be built from forests?